Wow. Okay, listen. These are going to be so nice and easy, okay? Here's why. Yes. Okay, you don't have to do almost any of the math by hand on these. I'm going to teach you how to use this little app in your calculator. That will do it all for you. Now, when you think of app, don't think of like a cool app on your phone. Think about more like a really boring, it looks like this. Okay? So the first thing that I'm going to have you do is get into the app. So normal calculator mode. Hit apps. It's purple. See it? Apps. Okay, after you push apps, you're going to choose finance, which is what it'll already be on. And then you're going to choose TVM solver, which it will already be on. So ready? If you don't have one, you're not going to be able to do this by hand. So if you need to go grab one, I'll show you one more time. Apps. Enter. TVM solver. Enter. Everybody good?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so I'm going to have you write down what each of the things stands for. Now the good news is if you learn this today, the rest of the week will be a piece of cake. Because we're doing the same TVM solver with like different types of things, but the solver part's the same. Okay, so N is going to be the number of months. Now, usually your problem is going to tell you the number of years. So you are going to have to do 12 times the number of years. Okay, so go ahead and write that down. It'll be 12 times and then however many years you're going to wait. Okay, I, what do you guess it stands for? Interest. Okay, and you're going to do this one as a percent. So do you remember when you do the problems yourself, you have to like change it into a decimal? Not for the TVM solver. You type in the percent just as it is. Okay, PV stands for the previous value. And FV stands for the future value. Now, for previous, in case you don't know what that means, I'm sure hopefully all of you do, but that's the beginning. And then future value, that's the end. Okay? So you have the starting amount and then the ending amount. Now, you also have a PMT, which is short for payment. And remember that a payment is different than a PV because you're putting into it each month. Okay, so I'm going to put here, this would be each month. Okay? Okay. I know it's you. Stop it. Making the little birdie noise. Okay? PY and CY stand for periods per year and compounded per year. Those will always just stay at 12. Now, in your thing, they should already be 12s. If they're not, go ahead and fix it. That just means no one's used your calculator so far today. Okay, now, the other thing that's a little bit tricky, if you haven't used this before, is that when you put your money in savings, it counts as a negative in the solver. This is why. You're thinking about your money from your perspective. When you open a savings account, what are you doing with your money? You're giving it to them. You don't still have it. They have it. So if you need it, what do you have to do? You have to ask for it back. So whenever you are giving money to the bank, it's going to count as a negative. Now, whenever the bank gives you your money back, that's going to come out as a positive. So, in a savings account, because you're giving them your money, it is always going to count as a negative as your PV. Because you are trusting them with your money and giving it to them instead of keeping it for your own self. Now, technically, is it still yours? Yes, but they're holding it. Okay? So, look at number 1. I'm going to show you where to put all the numbers, and then I'm going to show you how to solve. So, first thing it says, you put $1,000 into a savings account. That is your previous value. That is what you're opening the account with. Now, notice, it's a negative 1,000 because the money's going away from you and to the bank. Okay, then it says, with a 5% interest rate, put that here, not 0.05, 5. Then it says you're going to save another $50 from each paycheck. That's your payment. And it has to be negative because you're giving them $50 every single month of your paycheck. Okay, then it says you're going to invest it in the account. Then it says how much money will be in the account after 5 years. So I do 12 times 5. Thanks. Okay? Perfect. Oh, you didn't staple it. Oh, wait, yes, you did. Thanks. And then I'll send you the video right after. Oh, okay. And actually, I just realized I gave you the wrong thing. It's this one.
If we don't know,
2, 3. There you go.
since we don't know the final value, we just put in.
That's what you're going to solve on.
So you click clear it and then you click enter, right?
Yeah, kind of. Okay, so for your future value, okay, you want to know how much it's going to be in the future, so put a little question mark. And then this is how you solve. If you look at your enter button on your calculator, do you see that it says solve in green right here? So you're going to push green and then enter. Now, you have to type in all the other stuff first. So let's do that right now. So I'm in my solver. I'm going to put 12 times 5, and it'll do the math for you. Look, it turns it into a 60. 5%. I had negative $1,000 because I'm giving it to them. I'm putting in $50 more a month, and then this is the thing that I don't know, so I'm going to clear it out. Then to solve, you're going to push alpha, enter. And then look, it's like immediately like, bam, there's your answer. Okay, so now you don't have to do all the log stuff and all the e stuff, 1 plus r, all that kind of stuff at all. Okay? So $4,683 and 66 cents. Now double check your PYCY should still both be 12. Also make sure that you put a negative on the 1,000 and a negative on the 50. If you didn't do that, it's going to come out to be wrong. Is it the negative? Okay. Good. Easy. Okay, turn over to the back. Now there are a couple of kind of like tricky ways that things are worded, so we're going to look at those next. Flip over to the back side. Next one, it says Raj won $900,000 in the lottery. After paying $350,000 in taxes, he invested the remaining money. Okay, will his PV be $900,000? No, because he has to pay what? He has to pay the taxes on the money. So he can't open the account until he's paid those. Now, what do you do with tax? Add or subtract? Subtract if you're going to put it in savings. So I'm going to do $900,000. And I'm going to have to minus the $350 that he loses for his taxes. And then out of what's left over, that's what he's going to put into the account. Now, to make sure you know how to get out of the solver, see how I'm still in it? If you just hit second quit, it'll take you out of it. Some of y'all like turn the whole calculator off and do a bunch of stuff. You don't have to do that. Just second quit, and then you're out. So 900,000 minus 350,000. He'll have $550,000 to invest. Where does it go in your chart?
PV.
The PV. So 550. Then what? What do I have to do to it? Turn it negative. Because what's he doing? He's giving that money to the bank. So I'm going to put here my PV is the leftover amount. Okay? So you have to pay your taxes before you put it in the bank account. Then it says he gets 4.5% interest. That's my I. And then it says how much is he going to put in? We did that. How much money will he have in the account in 2 years? Okay, what would my N be?
24.
12 times 2 or 24. Now, the weird thing is that they never told us how much he's putting into it. It says right here, he's going to make no deposits or withdrawals. Then what are his payments? Zero. Because he's not putting any money in each month. He's just kind of letting it sit and accrue interest on its own. Okay? So, TVM solver, what's my CYPY? 12.
Sorry, 12.
That's okay. 12 and 12. And then my future value, that's my question mark. Okay, to get back into it, in case you forgot, it's the purple apps, and then enter, and then you're typing in all those numbers.
Is that PMT?
The PMT 0, because he's not making payments. Okay, so 24 months to this 2 years, 4.5% interest. He starts with 550,000. No payments. Alpha solve. She'll have, or Raj will have 601, 694. Now, if your thing down here, if your numbers are all messed up, it should be on end. So if somehow somebody moved yours over, just move it back. You just round it like money. So it'd be 694.56. So we're going to 2 decimal places for money because you can have cents, right? Okay. All right, now go, and actually there's a question on your homework that says, you don't have to write this, but I just want you to think about it. How much did the account earn? Okay, and we're going to talk about this more later in the week, but think about it. If I want to know how much the account earned, did it earn 601,000? What would you have to do to know how much it earned?
Subtract 550,000.
Yeah, you'd have to figure out how much it actually went up. Remember, the 550 doesn't count. That was, he already had that to begin with. So I would have to second quit, then do the 601, 694.56, and then minus the 550 he already had. So his account earned 51,694.56 because that's only including the extra money that he got from having it in that account. So there's a question on your homework that says that. I want to say it's number 1. Let's look at number 1 and see. Yeah, it's number 1 where it says find the amount earned by the investment. That's not the future value. That's how much it went up over that time period. Okay? All right, skip down for me to number 4, then we'll come back to number 3. Okay, number 4 says Malik deposited 200,000 in a savings account. Where does that go? PV. Notice it's minus 2,000. Okay, then it says after 8.5 years. Now I'm going to change that to 8.5. So then in my thing, I'm going to put 12 times 8.5. And then it says the account had earned 600. Okay, should I put 600 as my future value? How much did he already have? 2,000, and then it earned 600. You need to add them. Okay, so think about his future value is going to be he already had 2,000, and then if it earned it, remember that's telling me how much extra he got. So plus 600, what's his future value? 2,600. Okay, now, the other thing here to notice is that does it say he's going to continue making payments? No, so what should I put for that? 0. Okay. Now, I go into my TVM solver. Remember, these are both 12 always. Okay, you can leave them there. So I'm going to go into apps, enter. And then I type in 12 times 8.5. Now watch what happens. I go to my next one, to my interest. I don't know that, right? So I try to just like clear it out and skip, and it won't let you do anything. You have to put something there, so I'm just going to put a 0 for now. It won't let you get off of the spot if you don't put something. So just put a 0. Okay, then negative 2,000. 0 for the payments. And then my future value is 2,600. And then after I do that, I can scroll back up to my interest that I want to solve for. I'm going to put my little question mark here in my chart. And then alpha enter. And it solves it. So it's 3.09. What percent is that close to? 3.1, right? Or 3.10, if you like that better. Okay, if you want to round the decimal just to 3.1, I don't care about that. For money, I need you to go to 2. But for the decimal, if you want to just go to 1 on percent, that's fine. Okay, questions about that? Okay, now one more thing I want to point out. Somebody in the other class was like, why isn't my future value negative? Okay, this is why. In the problem, you're saying, I gave the bank my money. At the end, what are they going to do with their money? They're going to give it back to you. That's why this one is going to count as positive. But your PV and your payments, those should both be negative. Okay? All right, last one. Go up to number 3. Cassandra is 20 years old. She decides to invest in her future retirement. She invests $200 a month. Where does that go? PV? PMT. That's her payments. So negative 200 because she's doing it each month. That's what tells you that it's a payment. Okay? Then it says into a Roth IRA traditional account that grows at a rate of 6%. That goes here. And then the compounded monthly you can just kind of ignore. That's why your CYPY is 12. Okay, most people get paid monthly, so you don't have to worry about that. Okay, then it says she's going to retire when she's 60. Okay, well, if she's 20,
40 years.
and then she wants to retire when she's 60, then that means that she needs to wait 40 years. And then what do I put as my N? 40? No.
12 times 40.
12 times 40. Because remember, you have to count the exact number of months. Okay? Now, my PV, I notice I don't have anything there. Okay? Does the account already have money in it when she opened it? No. She's just going to put 200 in it each month, but she's not starting off with an amount already in it. Okay? Then for your future value, that's your question mark. Okay, then punch it in, and then solve. And remember, every time you should only have one question mark. All the other things in the table you have to know, or else it won't solve it for you. It'll say error. Okay, so 486, 0, negative 20, alpha solve. $398,298. And then make sure that your things are negative. Now technically it's a 1.4, but it's a 1.46, so that bumps it up to 15 cents instead of only 14. Oh, gotcha. Okay, now, one other thing. Okay, so look at the next scenario. Still Cassandra, but this time she's going to wait until she's 40 to start saving. Okay, she doesn't want to save when she's 20. She wants to just, I don't know, go to the beach, whatever. Okay, so from 40 until 60, how many years will she be saving? Okay, now question. She, at 40 years, is going to have $398, so $398,000. That's almost $400,000, right? Okay, so if she cuts her time in half, would you expect the amount she has saved to be about cut in half as well? Okay, so let's see, because that's not how it works. Okay, so I'm going to have 12 times only 20 years, but then everything else is going to stay the same. So we're literally only changing how long she saves in the bank. Yep, so up here, I'm going to come to my 480. I'm going to make it 12 times 20. Keep that at 6%. Only $200 a month. And then when I come to right here, I'm going to refigure it. What do you notice about her amount? Is it half? Way less than half. Okay, she's only going to have $92,000, right? So not only did that cut in half more than half, it went down less than a fourth, right? So part of what we're talking about in this unit, okay, is just like investment strategies. Okay, and so you should know, as you, I don't know, become an adult soon, okay, that if you wait to save, that hurts you way more than just like, oh, if I take half the time, I'll get half as much. Wrong. Okay, because the amount of time that your money's in the market earning interest, okay, that helps you a ton more than you would think. Okay, good. Okay, so I want you to set up number 2 and number 4, and we're just going to make sure they're set up correctly. So 2 and 4, off your homework. Muso, you get me one too?
I can find a TVM calculator online too, right?
Okay.
Probably. But you only have 6 questions, so the idea is that you do it now, you know, get it over with.
I gotta look up early tomorrow.
Okay, and then on number 1, I'm going to just highlight here You're not finding the final value, you're finding the amount earned. Okay, so remember, that's only the extra money on number 1. Okay, so if you want to make a note of that on number 1, it's not asking the final value, it's asking how much the account earned, how much it went up. Okay? So number 2, I'll read it to you, and then we'll see if you set it up correctly. Yes, ma'am? Okay. Number 2 says, Kelly raised inheritance from her great-grandma. Well, these need to be 12s. Well, when you change 1 and 2. And then your payment's negative, we did 200, right? And well, you need to have your interest into. Your interest, oh wait, your oh, because you have to use the minus. You're using, see how it's little and short? You can't use the subtraction. That's why it's telling you error. Okay, so ready? Sweet Kelly Ray's grandma, she was a baller. And she left her $300,000, but she has to pay $80,000 in tax. Write down your PV. Don't say it out loud. Nope. When we're done. $300,000, but you have to pay $80,000 in taxes. What do you do to know how much your PV is? Okay, subtract. So $300,000 minus $80,000 in taxes. How much does she have left over? 22,000? Yeah. 220, right?
Yeah.
Okay, 220,000. So far, so good? Sure. Wrong. Negative. Okay, then it says she invested it in an account that's compounded monthly. These are 12s. Okay, then it says after 10 years, so 10 times 12, she had $250,000. Where does that go? Future value. Do I have to turn it negative?
No.
Not in the future, because remember, the bank's going to give it back to her when she has $250,000. Okay, now, did it say she's going to continue to put into it each month? What's her payment then? 0. And what are you solving for? What is the interest rate? That's my question mark. Okay. Solve it.
What?
Click, click, click in the calculator. Okay, and then look, I cleared out FV and it won't let me move. Remember, I have to put a number in there or it won't let you get off of that spot. So 10 times 12, nobody knows, negative 220, 0, 250, and then go back up.
Wait, it won't. If I click clear, it won't let me move up or down.
Yeah, you have to put a 0 in that spot
Oh.
until you're ready to solve. And keep in mind, guys, that you have to have 4 out of the 5 things for it to give you the 5th. If you have multiple things that are blank, it can't solve it for you. That's why it won't let you leave it blank. 1.28, yep, percent.
Wait, what's...
Or if you want to just put 1.3%, that is fine with me. Okay, read through number 4, set it up, and then I just want to make sure it's right before you work on your own. You want story time? I'll read it to you. Malik deposited $1,500 in a savings account, and it earned $450 in interest, compounded monthly after 8 years. Find the interest rate of Malik's savings account. So I'm going to go ahead and put a question mark here. Okay, how long is Malik waiting? So 12 times 8. We don't know his interest rate. How much did he have at the beginning to open the account with? 1,500. Is he going to continue to make payments?
No.
Doesn't say he's going to, so 0. Okay, future value, what's that?
1,950.
Okay, do I put 450?
No, you put 1,900.
Good. Okay, if he earned 450, remember that I need to add that to the 1,500 that he already had. So good job. That was, a lot of people were putting 450 in that spot. Okay, so if I already have 1,500 and I earned 450 on top of that, I'm going to combine those numbers. Now look, if you want to be lazy, look, you can do this. Okay, 12 times 8, nobody knows, we'll just put a 0. Negative 1,500, and then when I get here, if I don't want to, I put them in the wrong spot. Okay, I'll fix it. But this is what you could do: 1,500 plus 450, and it'll do the math in the thing for you if you don't want to do it separate. Okay, now I have to fix. I put stuff in the wrong spot, but you get it. Okay, so I typed in 1,500 plus the 450, and then I'm gonna go back and fix.
We can round it up, right?
Sure.
Or down.
Okay, so I'm on my interest rate now. I have 96 months in 8 years. 1,500 to start with, 1950 at the end. Second, or alpha solve, 3.28, which rounds to what as a percent? 3.3%. Or if you want to do 3.28, that's totally fine.
Can I give you a question?
Yes. Okay, and then our future value, I forgot to write here, was 1950. Okay? Alright, now remember, CYPY is always 12. I did grade your tests last night.
Oh my gosh.
Some of you did great, some of you didn't, so I'm going to type them in probably like nowish if I don't have a bunch of questions. But if you failed it, okay, right now tutoring is kind of crazy because of calculus, so you can come in during lunch or Thursday after school if you need to do corrections. Or Friday morning would be fine, but every day is not available right now because of the AP test. I don't know, I'll put the grades in.